10 news stories, and I'll run them down in 10 minutes or less. Let's get started. Blizzard has announced that they are opening their own eSports arena in Los Angeles. Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles, as it will be called, will be in Burbank, California, and will play host to premier eSports events. With the grand opening scheduled the weekend of October 7th and 8th with the Overwatch Contenders Playoffs. This is the second arena tailored to eSports, following the 4,200-seat venue being built in Washington, D.C. A pair of YouTube personalities implicated in the CSGO Lotto controversy escaped fines. Last May, Trevor T. Martin and Thomas Syndicate Cassell came under fire for promoting the CSGO Lotto site without disclosing a business relationship with the site. The FTC settled with the personalities after they, Mr. Martin and Mr. Cassell, agreed to clearly disclose any endorsements going forward. Essentially a slap on the wrist. With the settlement, the FTC indicated that they warned 21 other social media influencers that they should ensure that they are following the same rules regarding endorsements on their channels and platforms. I'm willing to bet the next one that is caught will not get off so easily. Rockstar has announced that they are releasing 2011's critically acclaimed LA Noire to current-gen consoles. LA Noire will be released on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. It will play in native 1080p on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and have 4K visuals for the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X. Additionally, a VR version will be coming to the HTC Vive. Look for LA Noire on current generation systems starting November 14th. The Malaysian government has blocked all access to Steam after the release of Fight of the Gods. The Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission issued a 24-hour deadline for Valve to block access to this game by users in Malaysia. After this deadline passed with seemingly no action from Valve, the government dropped the hammer, blocking all access to Steam in their country. There are ways to bypass the block, and instructions and tutorials are still in the wild. With that, it's still a nuisance for what most likely will be a forgettable game. Last week we talked about the nouveau DRM being added to Sonic Mania. This week we are talking about the DRM to Sonic Mania being cracked. That's right, days after the game released with the de nouveau DRM, that DRM has been cracked. That comes as little surprise as this DRM, de nouveau, has been cracked in 70% of its implementations. Keyboard and mouse support on the Xbox One has long been promised. At a PAX West panel, Mike Ibarra noted that the first games to support keyboard and mouse will be coming soon, and they have ideas on how they will support it. Mr. Ibarra went on to say that Microsoft will coach studios to help ensure that the feature is added responsibly, saying ultimately it will be up to the developer's choice. Pokemon Go European live events to kick off this fall. Reported earlier in the summer that after the disastrous event in Chicago, Niantic was postponing the events planned in Europe. Over on their website, Niantic announced that September 16th will be the start of the first series of Pokemon Go Safari Zone events in Germany, France, and Spain. They also announced that the events will run in Denmark and Czech Republic starting October 7th, and in Sweden and the Netherlands on October 14th. Hopefully, Niantic has worked out all of the kinks. Back in June, Microsoft announced that they would be bringing free-to-play Killer Instinct to Steam. While Steam users are still waiting, community manager Rukari Austin announced that when it does finally hit Steam, it will be crossplay compatible with the Windows 10 Store version as well as the Xbox One version. You hear me correctly, Steam players will be able to play Killer Instinct against Xbox One players. Another step down the hill of cross-platform play. With the start of the Overwatch League ramping up, 17-year-old Overwatch player Jay Sinatra Wan has signed a $150,000 per year contract with NRG. As reported earlier, the league minimum is set at $50,000 per year. Young Wan will be making 3 times that, with full benefits to boot. Being a top player and sought-after talent, Jay Wan benefited from a bidding war by 2 teams, the aforementioned NRG and Cloud9. Being only 17 years old, Jay Wan's mother had to actually sign the contract to make it official. And finally, Ubisoft's SouthPark, the fractured but holes difficulty increase changes the character's skin tone. During the playthrough by Eurogamer whilst on the character creation screen, you can see that as the difficulty setting is raised, the character's skin tone gets darker. After asking the developers about this, AWGN was informed that the difficulty level in the game determines how much money you can earn and even affects the way other characters speak to you in the game. This is definitely commentary on the current state of racism in modern society. I just wonder how effective it will be. As always, thank you for joining. Before I sign off, I would like to mention our sponsor, the New Challengers. If you're looking to improve in Street Fighter V or Injustice 2, the New Challengers is the place for you. With one-on-one coaching, tournaments, group play, and more, the New Challengers will have you climbing in leaderboards in no time. Also, look out for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Dragon Ball Z Fighter being added if Street Fighter V and Injustice 2 are not up your alley. Head over to newchallenger.gg for more information and to sign up. And finally, if you want to hear more details on these stories and more, join Trinell and myself Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern for a weekly gaming news show, simulstream live on Facebook, Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. We will see you there.